Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? This is a prophecy alert. A prophecy alert. Jeremiah 29:10, the moving to declaration that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel after 70 years. A prophecy alert. Look what it says in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 10. For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good towards you in causing you to return to this place. Again, Jeremiah 29:10. For thus saith the Lord, after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word towards you in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, and to give you an expected end. And then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. This is a promise after 70 years that the children of Israel were in bondage, in captivity really, by the Babylonian Empire. The Babylonians, who had taken over, destroyed the temple in 586 BC, and had carried a lot of the Jews as slaves into Babylon, into Babylon, the kingdom of Babylon. Well, there's where you hear the stories of Daniel in the den of lions, and that's where you hear the stories of the three Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And after 70 years, God releases them, frees them from this captivity, and brings his love and blessing. Now, the reason they got taken into captivity in the first place was they had walked away from the word of the Lord and had went into idol worship. But the 70 years were fulfilled, and the peace and the freedom came. Now, today, President Donald Trump is going to accomplish a biblical prophecy. After a biblically significant 70-year gap since the American president first recognized the state of Israel, White House sources have announced that today, that President Donald Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and that the U.S. State Department will begin making plans to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. On December 6, today, 2017, President Trump will recognize that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, according to White House officials. While President Trump recognizes that the status of Jerusalem is a highly sensitive issue, he does not think it will be resolved by ignoring the truth that Jerusalem is home to Israel's legislature, its Supreme Court building. The Prime Minister lives there. It's his residence and such. It's the capital of Israel, one of the officials said. The official then said that Trump will officially recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, but will delay the opening of his embassy. That's for 6 months. It's going to take 3 to 4 years to actually get the new embassy built in Jerusalem. All right. The decision was sealed after President Trump called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also had called the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, and Jordan's King Abdullah, and Egyptian President al-Sisi, and Saudi Arabian King Salman, to inform them all of the upcoming announcement today. Now, Rabbi Yehuda Glick, who is a member of the Knesset and a personal friend of mine, spoke then today and said he called this move historically significant, noting that Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as a capital comes exactly 70 years after his predecessor, President Harry Truman, recognized Israel as a state. And I think this is historically significant, as President Trump is recognizing the state of Israel 13 minutes after Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion declared Israel a state exactly 70 years ago. This is not just for Israel, but it is part of a universal process. God willing, and other nations will follow suit. Our dream is that the entire world will recognize Jerusalem as the city of God, and which is what it says in the book of Psalms, that Jerusalem is the city of God, the city of the great King, which would be the Messiah. All right? Amazing. And you have to understand, the United Nations General Assembly voted on November 29th, 1947, to make Israel a non-member state. All right? They adopted a partition plan at the General Assembly. And 7 days, and then of course, Ben-Gurion declared Israel as a state 70 years ago. And so here is President Trump now on the 70th anniversary of this, declaring Jerusalem Israel's capital. An amazing situation, but a prophecy alert. There could be violence. There's been some discussion. We know that Egypt's President Erdogan says this is catastrophic, and this is the red line of the Muslims. We know that Hamas, the terrorist group out of Gaza, may completely go berserk. Hezbollah might react in southern Lebanon. Iran is going to be angry. A lot of nations are going to condemn the move because they're scared. Okay, they're afraid. They're gonna say, "I wish Trump wouldn't do this. I wish he wouldn't do this. I wish he wouldn't do this." And I'm including, look, European nations, Arabic nations, even the Pope of Rome is saying that Trump should not do this. Even the Pope said that Jerusalem is not the capital of Israel, that it should be an international city managed by the Vatican. Okay, so you have to understand, the whole world is still reacting because they're all afraid. They're afraid. Trump is not afraid. And he knows the thing to do is to do what needs to be done. Israel's a sovereign nation. They deserve to have their own capital. Now, the negotiations between Israel and Palestinians, that will have to go on, but from the position of strength. If you're a negotiator, you always want to negotiate from the position of strength and leverage, not from appeasement. It never works. It hasn't so far. There will be a reaction. We may see some negativity. We may see some rockets flying. There may be some bombs going off. And there might even be an intifada. But at the end of the day, Israel will lock it down, shut it down, preserve their nation, and move on. Then Trump will get the embassy from the United States moved over there as he selects a location and builds. He's not going to just rent a building and throw up a shabby sign and call it the U.S. Embassy. No, not Trump. He's a builder. He's going to build a beautiful U.S. Embassy. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Certainly, this is a prophecy alert. We'll tell you more about it. And we're going to watch closely the reaction of the world. We're in the last days. Prophecy. Folks, you're in the last days. 70 years. 70 years. Fulfillment of prophecy.